Hey threadheads, welcome back to the Fly Minds. Darren here. Today we're going to be tying a two-tone flesh fly. This is one that I've been tying for a number of years in different colors. I often tie the flesh fly in a solid coloration like a kind of a muted peach color or a light orange, light pink, ginger, that sort of thing. But I also do a two-tone variety, and Hareline has this really great product called Rabbit Flesh Strips, and they come in 7 different colors. And you can see going through the lineup here, we've got a number of different combinations of different pinks and oranges with cream, white, and flesh colored varieties as well. This is a really great fly for the fall when the salmon are just finished their spawning and you start to get some of the bodies decomposing and re-entering the food web with some of their flesh breaking apart. And as it tumbles down the river, it'll be in different states of decay, and that's represented by sort of the washing out of the kind of higher calorie orange fats and that sort of thing. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and I'll get you entered into my next draw for some decals and some of the flies you see me tying on the channel. Let's have a look at the material list and get started. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to put a fresh hook in the vise, and today we're going to be tying on a number 2, and we're going to be using a Mustad signature hook, and this one is the S71 SMP-DT. And I like this one. It's got a little bit of a longer hook shank, so you can get an extra wrap or two on the shank. Kind of gives it a nicer profile. So we're going to be using some lead-free wire in 0.35, and I'm going to take about somewhere between 2 to 3 inches in length, and I'll start near the back, and we'll just start by wrapping that around the hook shank. And we want to make sure that all the turns are touching on that so there's no gaps. And then just at the end and the front, we'll just use our scissors to just kind of finesse that around just so that we don't have any waste. If you have a sharp nail or a firm nail, you can use that to push it against the hook shank as well. You just want to make sure that there's no sharp edges there, and that's twisted on tight. I'm going to grab our thread. For thread today, we're going to be using a 6/0 uni thread, and this is the fire orange. Use a few different colors of threads, and like tan or a pink or an orange, depending on what you're looking at for the body color of your flesh fly. And we just started our thread on in front of the lead, and we'll just kind of bump it up against the, not the lead, the wire. And then we'll take that across and butt it up against the backside. We'll just add a couple more wraps just to make sure that that gets secured down. It's not going to roll around on us. If you want, you can add a little bit of cement to the thread wraps and let that soak in. So we're going to be using these Hareline Rabbit Flesh Strips, and they are two-tone. So they've got a lighter color on the bottom, and then they're dyed over top with a darker color like shrimp, orange, or pink. And it gives a nice fleshy look to the fly. So we'll come in here, we grab a strip, and we'll just trim off a little bit on the back end. And then I like to measure it out a little bit more than a shank length or hook length to tie in the tail. And then we just want to separate the hair off of the, or away from the leather there. And just want to pull that apart so you've got a nice clean tie-in space. You might want to moisten your fingers a little bit just so that that hair gets tamed. Then we'll just add a couple thread wraps in there just to make sure things get separated well. And once you've got a few thread wraps, you can kind of pull it down to kind of really get a good grip on there. You can see if you pull that rabbit strip to the side, that'll want to slip over a little bit. So we'll add a few more wraps. And we want that to be fairly secure. We don't really want that to ride around to the side. So when we get that secure, we're going to push that rabbit strip back and we'll take our thread up to the eye. Just going to add a half hitch just for a little bit of security here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of head cement just to kind of soak into those wraps underneath. This head cement's a little bit thick, so I'm going to have to use a little bit of acetone here. It should work fine for this. Alright, we'll put that away. We'll deal with that later. Okay, so now that we've got our rabbit strip on there, we want to start wrapping it or palmering it. So we'll kind of stroke all the fibers back, and we want to make sure that we've got the leather right on the hook shank. And every time you pull that around the hook, we're stretching the leather as well as stroking all the fibers of the fur backwards. And we're just going to continue that until we get up to the just behind the eye of the hook. You just want to make sure you don't put your fingers through that glue that you've got on there. Basically, we're just doing touching turns. We're not really overlapping or anything. We just want that leather to be laying edge to edge along as you wrap it up. Now we're up at the eye. We're just going to do one final wrap, and we'll pull the hair away from the clump in the back. And I don't mind having a little bit extra in there to tie down just to make sure that we've got good coverage, but we just kind of crank that over and then add a few thread wraps. And here's where it pays to have some nice fine point sharp scissors. We'll pull that rabbit strip away from the hook eye. We'll pull that up and we'll just have a little bit of leather left there, and we're just going to add a few thread wraps here, and that'll clean up our eye. Now if you are tying different variations where you've got both weighted and unweighted versions of the fly, what you can do is you can add a strip of off-colored thread here. So you can add like a red strip of thread just behind the eye just to represent that this one's weighted or it's unweighted, whatever you choose to use as your system. So I'm just complete a whip finish here. I'll just take you through the different colors. So there's a creamy pink, a cotton candy, which is a white and pink, salmon pink orange, fleshy pink, pinky shrimp, peachy orange, and peachy pink. So there's a nice variety of different colors there, from lighter to darker colors. I'll just add a little bit of head cement to this fly and we're good to go. Hey fly tyers, thanks for stopping by and checking out my fly tying videos. If you enjoyed the video and want to show your support, hit the thumbs up and share it to your social networks. I hope you consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, be sure to hit the bell icon to get notifications on my latest fly patterns, tips, and reviews. If you have a question or comment, leave a message below. You'll also be entered into the next draw for some of the flies I tie and a few stickers. Until next time, this is Darren saying, keep a hook in your vise. Cheers.